Appearing grim, crime lab chemist Annie Dookhan is going to prison after her behavior helped put hundreds of others behind bars illegally.
Including 013, charged with tampering with evidence.
Guilty.
Beyond pleading guilty, Dookhan made no personal comments about the havoc created by the scandal. In a lab similar to this one, Dookhan admits falsifying drug tests, for example by adding cocaine to samples, tainting trial evidence. When she was finally caught last year, Dookhan tampered logs. The result? Look at all these faces, a fraction of the tens of thousands of people Dookhaned. Street slang for anyone whose evidence she handled. 300 convictions set aside in Boston alone.
Her actions totally turned the system on its head.
A review of every case the chemist laid her hands on from 2003 to 2012 is still underway. In the court system,
Black Ram 313 back at it again. You know why? Well, it's because this is therapeutic, man. Back again with another video, hence another therapy session, this time for Patreon exclusively. And boy, do I have a hot one here today. I'm going to be discussing a book in which I mentioned earlier last year, I guess I can say, well, earlier this year, depending on when you're listening. But let's just say it's a book that I had mentioned many, many months ago. Pretty much a tell-all book. A book literally about how to destroy men. Literally now. Amazing, ain't it? Yes, there is a manual, a book that tells the females how to destroy a man's life, his career, his legacy, step by step. And those videos that you saw in the beginning are just an example of what I'll be discussing in this video series. So brothers, this is a real serious video that I have for you today. That's nothing to play with. A very serious topic. How to Destroy Men is the title of the book. Now, I tried to get it on Amazon a while back, but they were sold out and the book is no longer in print. So I had to pull some strings and do this and do that to go about finding this book. And finally, I was able to lay my hands on it. And therefore, I will read it to you today. And I think they took it off the store shelves and it's no longer available on Amazon because it is very harmful to the life of every man. And it's pure hatred in this book, as reflected by society, as generally men have hatred for themselves, and of course females do as well. But this book, if used, will put every man in a dangerous situation. And I think that most females already have an idea of how to do these things that's mentioned in the book. Listen up, fellas. The things that's written in this book that I'm going to discuss today and an ongoing with the rest of this series, this will and can affect you at your workplace or any social setting or gathering of people where there are females around, including your own family. Again, this book can put each and every man in a very dangerous situation. This book is like a step-by-step tutorial on how to use the gynocentric system that we live under to destroy the lives and livelihood of any and all men. In this video series, you will learn the tricks of this beast so that you can protect yourself. This is a Real Pill awareness video exclusively for the Patreon page. So it'll go like this. The format of this video series is as follows. I will read the chapters, and I believe that there are 4 chapters to be read. They're not extremely lengthy, but packed with information. So I'll pause periodically to give my commentary. So this will be a reading and commentary of the chapters written in this book. So keep that in mind. So let's jump right into it, man. Here we go. The title of the book is called How to Destroy a Man Now. The acronym is DAMN. DAMN. How to Destroy Men Now, a Handbook. Author is Angela Confidential. psych doctor, actually, PhD in psychology. And of course, Angela Confidential is probably a pseudonym, a writer's name. This book was published first in 2018. The chapters are as follows. Got the introduction, which I'll be reading here, and chapter 1 called The Damn Fundamentals, in which I will also be reading here. The second chapter is called The Damn Online Method, which includes subtitles as Crafting Allegations, Leveraging Media, Leveraging Authority. Chapter 3 is called The Damn at Work Method, Crafting Allegations, Leveraging Media, Leveraging Authority. Chapter 4 is called Why These Damn Methods Work. And of course, within these chapters, she'll be talking about relationships as well. She gives a definition of the term damn from Google Dictionary. And number 1, in Christian belief, to be condemned by God to suffer eternal punishment in hell. 2, condemned especially by public expression of disapproval. And I believe she's going for the second definition here in this book. So here's the introduction. As women, we have been oppressed by men's physical advantages over us since the beginning of humankind. But now, in today's modern societies, the tables are finally turning, especially with the advent of the internet and social media and the economy's transition from manufacturing to information. Women are leveraging their natural advantages, emotional intelligence, and communication to gain power. You've probably utilized these advantages to some degree already in one form or another. For example, as a child in school, I recall the boys using physical strength and aggression, e.g. punching, to bully girls. That was their power. Girls, on the other hand, use communication and accusation. Example, spreading rumors to undermine boys. This is our power. The purpose of this handbook is to be a resource, a collection of tools and techniques that have proven powerful in women's struggle against patriarchy. I did not invent these methods. I only described them. Be advised, however, that the methods outlined in this handbook were chosen for their full utility or their ability to achieve results rather than for their legal or ethical merit. In other words, the information presented herein does not purport to be legally or ethically sound. What's considered to be right or legal often changes with time, the prevailing culture, and the evolution of law. The handbook is a work of free speech. How the content is used, misused, or not used is at the sole discretion of the reader. And I, as the author, retain no responsibility. Similarly, I am publishing this book under a pseudonym of Angela Confidential to protect from backlash. I figured that. That's the end of the introduction. She's already letting you know to throw ethics out the door, morality out the door when it comes to the reading of this book and applying what's therein. She's letting you know. And we know that females are often amoral anyway. They only think in terms of what benefits them. There is no principle that she upholds. There is no morality. The only principle of morality that you can say one holds on to is the selfish, solipsistic one of self-preservation, self-pleasing, entitlement, and selfishness. Think about that. So let's begin with the first chapter of the book called The Damn Fundamentals. Quote, let's begin with some introductions. We have 3 key friends or fundamentals that make it possible to destroy a man now. To damn, well, it's important to all know. Our first ally is Allison Allegation. Allegation can be so simple, effective, and easy to employ that it's elegant. An allegation is a claim, usually without proof, that someone has done something illegal or wrong. A claim at a minimum requires nothing more than an assertion. For example, if I yell from a rooftop that the world is flat, I have successfully made a claim. Similarly, identifying wrongdoing requires only observation, recollection, or a minimal amount of imagination. From lying to murder, any behavior that you've heard, seen, experienced, or can think of that violates ethical or legal standard can surface for an allegation. However, it's the last part, what constitutes an allegation, that makes it uniquely useful. No evidence required. This independence from proof allows you to make an allegation about any man doing anything without being encumbered by a need for facts. But how can something as intangible as a spoken word without evidence have enough merit or power to damn? Admittedly, if left completely on her own, Allison's allegation has relatively little power. That's where our other two friends, Mary Media and Arthur Authority, assist. Pause. Ain't that powerful, man? How many times have you heard men's lives crumble just by a mere fact of an allegation? If she calls the police and claims that you threatened her, I didn't say put your hands on her. Of course, we know what happened with that. But if she just claims that she feels unsafe or threatened, you, my friend, will have a criminal record. These are the days and times that we're living. That's why this video is so important. Let me continue. Mary Media, our second ally, encompasses just about any means of communication. Media can be as elementary as whispers of gossip, although nowadays the term most often refers to mass communication platforms such as television, the internet, or mainstream media. Of course, it also includes social media such as Twitter, Facebook, which we'll soon see are especially suited to damn. So how does Mary Media help Allison allegation? Well, interesting, they help each other. You've probably heard of the philosophical question: if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, does it make a sound? Although the answer to that question is still debated, it's certain that if allegation is made and no one knows about it, it has no power. Fortunately, however, the opposite is also true. The more people who know about an allegation, the more powerful it becomes. Pause. My words. And of course, that's what happens to the athletes and the entertainers. Even if the allegations are proven false, the mere fact that there is an allegation can ruin a man's life and career forever. Back to the chapter. Thankfully for Allison's allegation, and for purposes the modern mainstream media excel at spreading information far and wide. They do it to make money, lots of money from advertisers. Yet advertisers need more than just a way to reach people. They also need a way to get people to pay attention to their advertisements. This is where media content becomes important. Media content can be videos, website posts, breaking news, and so on. Anything that garners interest. And it's no secret that scandals attract people's interest especially well. Sex sells. As the saying goes, so does violence, injustice, misconduct, or anything outrageous. That's why scandalous content in mainstream media has increased over the years. That's also why Mary Media helps Allison allegations. Scandalous allegations attract people's interest. Interested people watch advertisements sell products, and it all makes Mary Media money. However, fascinatingly, while the mainstream media profit from the proliferation of allegations, they bear little responsibility for doing it. Apparently, as long as the media mention that in the scandal it's an allegation, they have a relatively safety from legal repercussions. This is because in free speech societies, people can voice opinions and unsubstantiated claims. Further, the media can always attest that they are not making the allegation, rather they are just reporting it. But in truth, the media actually does make the allegations by how they report it. You probably know that how you say something can convey greater meaning than what you say. For example, I could say I'm happy, but if I scream it angrily, people are much more likely to believe I am upset. With that in mind, try listening carefully to how mainstream media say the word allegation when reporting a story. Either they say it in a positive tone, as though it's something good, or they say it quickly as though it's insignificant. They also use the word allegation or alleged instead of using terms such as unsubstantiated claim or accusation without proof to de-emphasize that evidence is lacking. Even more cleverly, after the media make an allegation popular by broadcasting it far and wide, They then circle back later in the broadcast how so many people are talking about it. Furthermore, they support people who make allegations by promoting them as some courageous for coming forward. These tactics get even more people interested and encourage others to make similar claims. Finally, the media then cite an increasing number of allegations and growing public outrage that they helped to create as being too numerous to be ignored or as evidence of the truth. In a court of law, a man is considered innocent until proven guilty. But in a court of media-managed public opinion, a man serially accused of a scandal is guilty until proven innocent. In this way, an allegation does not require evidence to damn because through media manipulation, it becomes its own evidence. Thousands, even millions of people can become organized against one man. Likewise, the evidence and public perception of guilt created by Allison allegation and Mary Media's synergy can become so prominent and powerful that our third ally, Arthur Authority, has a duty to step in, and it's authority that really helps us to put the destroy in damn. Authority is defined as any person or organization that has the power to control, direct, punish, and so on, which is exactly the kind of power we need to damn. Examples include police, judges, bosses, human resource departments, boards of directors, teachers, professors, university councils, licensing and regulatory agencies, and so on. Ultimately, it's authority that plays the final role in condemning a man. So what do we need to know about authority to damn? Well, to begin, it's important to understand that Arthur Authority is an artifact of patriarchy and chivalry. As Daddy Knight, he takes pride in his role as guardian and savior, especially to the weak, mistreated, violated, and so on. He strives to be the hero who saves the damsel in distress. In other words, authority caters to victims, and nothing gets Arthur's authority's attention more than to call an action to save victims. Pause. Wow, man. Ain't this the truth? It's that simp, it's that white knight that always comes to the allegations to rescue the damsel in distress. Your HR department, the bosses, and it's especially potent when that boss is a fee beast, man. Stuff like this makes you really, really, really want to bow out of society. Either work for yourself or go and live somewhere remote. And I think the time is coming where it would be wise to do so. This is why we're investing. This is why we're getting our passports, man. In the coming years, they're going to make this system that we live under even more adversarial to men. Picking back up in the chapter, quote, to be considered a victim or damsel in distress, authority first needs to perceive you as weak. Surprisingly, a great illustration of this is how authorities usually relate to men in distress. Can you imagine what typically happens when a man walks into a police precinct and requests a restraining order against a woman? Officers roll their eyes and immediately disbelief ensues. This is because they simply do not perceive a man to be weaker than a woman. And for that reason, they are unwilling to provide assistance. In contrast, in patriarchal societies, women are perceived as weak by default and therefore deserving of help and protection in the eyes of authorities. Second, for the weak to attain victim status, authorities also need to perceive them as harmful or violated. In other words, authorities require a credible claim that a legal or ethical standard has been broken in order to take action, because it's their duty to enforce standards. As we now know, we can look to Allison allegation to make the claim and to Mary Media to make it credible. Nevertheless, it's still important to emphasize that authority is most likely to help us damn in instances that entail an apparent violation of specific laws or conduct. The more egregious, the better. Examples are numerous, including rape, sexual harassment, discrimination, physical assault, child abuse, substance abuse, and dishonesty in its many forms. For example, lying, cheating, and fraud. Also, this works surprisingly well. Keep in mind that with the media's help, allegations against authorities can be used to motivate authorities to take action. Just about any widespread allegation about authority being remiss, ineffectual, or negligent in its guardian and savior role will suffice. For instance, a televised allegation about a company ignoring sexual harassment in the workplace is enough to motivate the company's human resource department to hunt the accused man and anyone who failed to report his scandalous behavior to HR. Once the authorities decree that there is a victim of a violation, they can take punitive actions against the perpetrator, i.e. destroy a man. Punitive actions usually entail substantial loss, such as termination of employment, loss of income, loss of education, certification, dismissal from school, and revocation of credentials, loss of social status or good reputation of public shame and humiliation, loss of financial savings, and loss of freedom. In addition, the combined actions of Allison allegation, Mary Media, and Arthur Authority generally result in an ongoing loss or loss of future opportunities. In this way, a man is truly damned. With a smeared reputation or record of alleged misconduct, no one will want to be associated with him. No one will want to employ him. No one will want to help him, and no one will even believe him. Further, the subsequent long-term stress frequently results in a loss of physical and mental health. Whew. Damn! No pun intended. When I say these methods can destroy a man, I genuinely mean it. Wow, man, the first person that popped in my head, and you can tell me who's the first person that popped in your head as this was being read, is R. Kelly. They completely and utterly destroyed him through allegations, none of which can really be proven. Back to the chapter, quote, "Moreover, these methods actually do destroy men, even powerful ones. There is no better testimony to how effective Allison allegation, Mary Media, and Arthur Authority can be than the growing number of men they've destroyed, regardless of allegations being true or false. The following is just a partial list from 1 year, 2017, of renowned men, in no particular order, the allegations made against them in the media, and the authority-driven consequences. Harvey Weinstein, Hollywood producer and co-founder of the Weinstein Company, accused of rape, sexual harassment, assault, sex trafficking, fired from the Weinstein Company and expelled from the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. Roy Price, Amazon executive, accused of sexual harassment, resigned days after being suspended. Chris Savino, Nickelodeon producer, accused of harassing women, fired. Lockhart Steele, editor-director of Vox Media, accused of sexual harassment, fired. John Besh, celebrity chef and chief executive of Besh Restaurant Group, accused of sexual harassment, stepped down from the Besh Restaurant Group. Terry Richardson, fashion photographer, accused of sexual misconduct, banned from working with Vogue and other publications. Leon Weisletter, New Republic editor, accused of sexual harassment, removed from the masthead of Atlantic and fired from Emerson Collective. There's a few more, no need to state those. She goes on and on. I'm going to read a couple of more that are notable. Some more that are somewhat popular. Kevin Spacey, actor accused of sexual misconduct and assault, fired from Netflix series and replaced in upcoming film. Jeremy Piven, actor accused of sexual misconduct, CBS dropped his show. Andy Dick, comedian accused of sexual harassment, fired from the film. Louis C.K., comedian accused of sexual misconduct, release of a new film that was halted by Netflix, special canceled, and FX and HBO cut ties. Al Franken, U.S. Senator, accused of sexual misconduct, resigned and cut from a PBS TV special. John Conyers, U.S. Senator, accused of harassment, resigned. Charlie Rose, PBS and CBS television network host, accused of making unwanted sexual advances, groping women, exposing himself, and making lewd phone calls, fired from CBS and PBS. Matt Lauer, NBC's Today Show, accused of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace. NBC News terminated his employment. Russell Simmons, entrepreneur and co-founder of Def Jam Recordings, accused of rape and harassment, stepping down from his companies. Warren Moon, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, the co-founder of president of sports marketing, accused of sexual misconduct and discrimination, taking a leave of absence from his job as a member of the Seattle Seahawks game day broadcasting team. Andrew Krisberg, executive producer of Arrow, Supergirl, and The Flash, accused of sexual harassment and inappropriate touching, suspended by Warner Brothers Television Group. Eddie Berganza, editor of DC Comics, accused of sexual harassment, fired by the Warner Brothers Television Group and DC Entertainment. Amazing. That ends the list and ends chapter 1 of the book, How to Destroy Men Now. My commentary, and of course, chapter 2 or part 2 will be coming up in another video. So she named the 3 keys, a trinity of destruction. Allison allegation, which we know that there's a movement that says believe all women, no matter what. Believe all women. An allegation. Allison allegation. Anytime there's an allegation, which means it's unsupported, unsubstantiated. However, believe all women means that no matter what the allegation is, you must first presume that it is absolutely true, and then go look for clues or details or evidence to substantiate this true claim that isn't true, probably is untrue, but need to be looked at as true because a woman said it. Now, right away, that slaps the face of due process. Innocent until proven guilty. But no, when there's a woman involved making an allegation, it is guilty until you can be proven innocent. If a woman alleges you of anything, man, anything, you better believe that it will stick and stand and you have a hard time fighting. Then she went on to talk about Mary Media, a powerful tool. Once an allegation is out there, whether it's proven false or not, it will stick because you were once accused, and an accusation can never go away. The old folks used to say it like this: you cannot unring a bell. Once words are said, once it's out there, even if there's a retraction, even if you say you take it back, even if it's unsubstantiated, the word is out there. The perception is set. You're declared guilty, even if it's found not guilty. Think about that. So no matter what, your name will always be mud. And then the author, Angela Confidential, nice name, goes on to talk about the third key, the third power source, which is author authority. And yes, the whole system of things is programmed and constructed to put a woman and her allegations first. I think this comes from the stereotype back in the day of the wife beating husband, which is very rare. Most husbands, most men are very loving and accommodating to women. But you had a few bad apples. And then there were movies made on television. I think one was called The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett, for us that are a little older on this Patreon page. And I remember seeing The Burning Bed when I was younger. And Farrah Fawcett, if I'm not mistaken, that's the actress that played in that particular movie, was being abused by her husband. And when something goes out on television, it creates in the mind of those watching and those around them a semblance of truth, some way, somehow. Although this is a movie, and I'm not saying that abuse doesn't happen, but it is rare. It painted all husbands, all men as abusers, in this stereotype stuck. Hence the term for the t-shirt, a wife beater. So in the society that is gynocentric, men who enforce these laws to save the damsel in distress, the white knight, the police, the judges, the authority figures will come and get you based off an allegations that is put out there, the HR department. This is why it is specifically dangerous. I say again, fellas, that's why it is specifically dangerous to date a woman at work, if you care about that job and your reputation, and you do plan on having a job in the future. Because when you date a woman at work, all she has to do is make an allegation, and things can go south from there. And you've heard the stories. If it has not happened to you, you've heard the stories of this happening to many, many men. An allegation is made. His paycheck stops. His reputation is soiled, never to recover. And of course, I'm sure this has led men to their deaths via suicide. And if not physical death, financial death. And this lady is pushing for that. She's saying, yeah, destroy his career, take his money, take his freedom, and eventually this will impact his mental and physical health, completely destroy him, damn him. And this is in the psyche of the female today, especially the B-dub, but not limited to the B-dub, who also call the succubus, but also the rabbit Snow Bunny and the rotten Chiquita Banana and Mei Ling. See, here's the thing, fellas. Do you realize that the succubus in particular literally hates you? The succubus would like nothing less than your complete annihilation. And at the very least, to see you suffer immensely. So you have to be very careful. And not just on the job, in your relationships too. Because that will have a resounding effect throughout the rest of your life, man. Hitting you financially, mentally, physically. As I said before, man, I did a video series, or I would just say a video, but a couple of videos like this. And I said, today is the day of the woman. It is her day. What was I trying to say? What was I trying to convey in that video? I was trying to convey the fact that you live in a extremely gynocentric society where women rule. I've come up with a new saying. I'm sure somebody's going to steal it, but I'll still say it here for the Patreon page. These women are whores living in a whore's world. What does that mean? They have all the freedoms because this is their world. Imagine playing a video game where all the rules are constructed to favor certain players. Stage is already set. You can't win against the house. The house always wins. The customer always loses. When you're dealing with women in a society in any way, shape, or fashion, you don't have to be having sex with them. You don't have to be having a relationship with them. But any contact with a woman, realize that you are the loser. She is the winner. And they have made themselves an enemy. Therefore, it will be wise to stay as far away from them as possible when possible. I have an addiction for the fee beast. You have an addiction for the fee beast. Some of us have overcome that position and that addiction and become completely monk. However, for those who are monk, any interactions with women still can be potentially dangerous. You have to tread lightly, man. Tread lightly. And again, this is why I think it might be best to try to find other places, because America is falling, to find other places that's more friendly toward males and don't see men as automatically adversaries. This is oppression, man. This is a dangerous time to be alive, man. Tread lightly. So follow me, brothers, as I read the upcoming chapters in another video. The next video will be chapter 2, then after that, chapter 3, then chapter 4, and then a conclusion of all of this. Stay tuned, brethren. You've been listening to Black Ram 313 exclusively for the Patreon page, reading and commenting on the book, How to Destroy a Man Now, Ackerman is Damn, by Angela Confidential, a handbook, a tutorial on how to destroy your life. This is real, pure awareness. I'll catch you on the next one. Black Ram 313. I'm out.